It's your host, Davion Mike, and today I'm going to go through another one of the authors of the day. Today our author is Joseph Conrad, which, by the way, let me get out my files to go through them. Hold on. Which is, hold up. Joseph Conrad is an author who was born December 3rd, 1857 to Polish parents and let's use the computer. See how you pronounce that. It's pronounced Berdichev. Whatever. Berdichev, Ukraine, and he was raised and educated primarily in Poland, which we'll have pictures of either edited or will be in the next scene. He was born to Apollo and Evelina Bobrowski Korzenowski, which is Evelina's maiden name is Bobrowska, but her what's her name? Her hold on. Her married name is Korzenowski, and both his parents were Polish patriots who conspired against Russia's oppressive rule as punishment after they were arrested to live with their 4-year-old, and they conspired against them. They got caught, and basically as punishment, they were arrested and had to live with their 4-year-old son, Joseph Theodore Conrad Korzenowski, right? And they had to live in the Russian port of Vologda, I think. Let me see. Vologda. And that's the author. Here go his dad, his mom, and finally Joseph Conrad. And here is Berdichev, which is where he was born, and this is Warsaw, where Joseph Conrad's father, Apollo, moved in 1861 to organize a Russian resistance. In October of 1861, he had found the Committee of Underground National Government of 1863. A few days later, he was arrested. Both Evelina and Joseph followed him, but only Evelina was questioned about. Though Evelina wasn't arrested, and after being confirmed guilty, they had to move to Vologda with the then 4-year-old Joseph Conrad. And due to medical illness, they were allowed to move to Chernihiv, where Ela/Evelina died of tuberculosis in April 1865. However, in 1868, Apollo was released from exile while he was gravely ill, and he left with Joseph to Lviv. And after moving to that important Polish cultural center, he moved to Krakow, the ancient capital of Poland, where Apollo died. And after his maternal uncle Tadeusz Bobrowski became his guardian, and Joseph was at first taught by his father, and then later he was taught at a school in Krakow, and received further private schooling. And at the age of 16, he left Poland and traveled to Marseilles, France, to be a mariner. And through introduction to immersion, who was a friend of his uncle, Conrad sailed on several commercial ships, first as an apprentice, then as a steward, which is someone who works on a form of transportation to bring the people on their mail and things like that. After a failed suicide attempt and being in debt, he joined the Merchant Marine, where he worked for 16 years. And after becoming a British citizen, and that's when he started his voyages around the world, from India to Singapore to Australia and Africa. They gave him experiences that he later portrayed in his writing. And after becoming a British citizen, that's when he never really changed his name, and he just painted his name as Joseph Conrad after writing his first book, Almayer's Folly, dedicated to his uncle. And actually, after his years at sea, he had decided to settle in one place and marry Jessie Emmeline George right here, a daughter of a bookseller, and he had 2 sons. He also had friends. He was also friends with authors such as John Galsworthy, Ford Maddox Ford, and H.G. Wells. And his literary career started in 1895 with the publication of his first novel, as I said before, Almayer's Folly, which is an adventure tale set in the Borneo jungle. He wrote 2 books before the turn of the century, and they were his most famous books. Lord Jim, written in the 1900s, is the story of an outcast young sailor who has to come to terms with his past acts of cowardice and become a leader of a South Seas country. And Heart of Darkness, which is the one that I read, which was written in 1902, which is a novella describing the journey of a British man into the heart of the Congo of Africa, where he encourages the cool and mysterious Kurtz, a European trader who established himself as a ruler over the natives there. And with both of those, they contain the significant elements of Joseph's writing, faraway settings, dramatic conflicts, and brutal forces of nature, and themes of individualism, the violent side of human nature, and racial prejudice. And Conrad was interested in psychopolitical situations that drew parallels between the inner lives of single characters and the broader sweep of human history. And he continued to achieve it as an author, publishing novels such as Nostromo in 1904 and The Secret Agent in 1907, a short story of collections, and a memoir titled A Personal Record, written in 1912. And many of his major works first appeared as serialized pieces in magazines, actually, that followed by the publication of the complete novel as his career progressed, and income through reprints of the novels and the sales of film rights for several books, or how he got his money. And over the last 2 decades of his life, Conrad produced more autobiographical writings and novels, including The Arrow of Gold and The Rescue. His final novel, The Rover, was published in 1923, and he died August 3rd, 1924, of a heart attack in Canterbury, England, which is pictured. A heart attack in his home in Canterbury, England, which is pictured here.